What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about these solo at-home Bitcoin miners. They've really caught my attention over the last couple of weeks because you can actually mine a solo Bitcoin block on these machines right here, and a Bitcoin block right now is worth almost $300,000. You know, ever since the Bitcoin price dropped, it's kind of went down a little bit. I think it's like 260, but still, who wouldn't like to wake up one morning and see one of these screens say you found a Bitcoin block? So I kind of want to, let's jump over to the computer and I can show you something real quick. So you can see right here, this was back in October. So solo Bitcoin miner gets lucky and hits a $347,000 Bitcoin block. And he actually hit it on one of those machines I just showed you. He hit it on a NerdQX++. And I'll link a link down in the description in the pinned comment to Bitcoin merch where you can check some of these out. They're absolutely, you know, very easy to get into, very easy to use. And I'll leave that link down in the pinned comment. Use Heinz Crypto at checkout and you will get a nice little discount. But you can see a lucky individual Bitcoin miner beat monumental odds to successfully solve a block worth $347,000 on the world's most competitive crypto network. So it is possible. And over the past, year, I think there's been 3 or 4 different Bitcoin blocks that have been hit by these things right here. So the one we just talked about was hit like by a machine just like this. And sorry for my little setup, I got some little mods there to keep the voltage regulators cool. But this is a NerdQX++, and this is the machine he hit the block with. And this machine right here is just an upgraded version, so it's basically 2 of these put together, and this does about 10 terahash. The little NerdQX there does about 6 terahash overclocked, and this is one of the best beginner-friendly miners here. This does about 1.2 terahash, and it's very inexpensive to get into. And, you know, I highly recommend those as well. And like I said, I will drop a link down in the pinned comment and description where you can check these out and pick some up for yourself. But the cool thing about them, guys, is you can just buy these. They don't use many watts. I think that uses like 17 watts. That uses 80 watts, right? And of course you can get into overclocking and it'll use a lot more, right? But you can see my setup right here. So I got 1, 2, 3 Canaan Nano S3 right here, and you can see at my voltage or my wattage meter, I'm only using about 480 watts, and that's with all these hooked together and my computer and everything like that. So very efficient for just like some desk miners. But this is the thing, right? The odds for these things are way better than the lottery, right? And the thing about the lottery is you have to go out every single day and purchase new lottery tickets. These, you purchase them one time and you set them up and just set them beside your desk, and they're not even that loud. Like you can hear them. Be quiet for a second. Like they're just sound like a computer running, and the odds are way better. And we're gonna jump over to the computer again, and I'm gonna show you the odds for how many terahash I have right here. And you guys can go from that. But it's just super cool, right? It's exciting. They're fun to mess with. You can do so many different upgrades to these, and I'll kind of show you the interface on some of them too. And they're just fun to play with, and you never know, man. You could wake up one day and one of these screens could say block found, and you could be 350, or well, not now, but about $260,000 richer if you happen to snag a Bitcoin block. So let's jump over to the computer, and I'm going to kind of show you the odds for my little setup right here. So jumping over to the computer screen here, so you can see Bitcoin, and this is a website called Solo Chance, and there's many different other websites as you can use as well. But you can see Bitcoin, my hash rate in terahash, and I have about 25 terahash right now at my little home farm. And let's calculate. And you got to keep in mind these chances, right? Because this is like, if you think about the lottery, you have like a 1 in 250 million chance, right? So if you check these out, chance per hour, it's a 1 in 6 million. Chance per day is 1 in 287,000. Chance per week is 1 in 41,000. Chance per month is 1 in 9,000, and chance per year is 1 in 798. So if you just, take these odds and compare them to the lottery, these odds are way more stacked in your favor, right? And this is only for the hash rate that I have. Say you went a little more balls to the wall, and say you're pushing 100 terahash through the machines. Well, then your odds go up quite substantially, right? You got a 1 in 199 chance each year to hit a Bitcoin block. And I think, it's definitely a gamble I like to take, right? Because the thing about it is you're buying cool equipment that you can play with alongside of this, right? It's a cool little hobby. And you can also mine other coins. You can mine anything SHA-256. So if you go to Bitcoin Cash, and if you hit a Bitcoin Cash block right now, it's worth $1,700. So let's put in my hash rate for this, so 25. Calculate. I'm just gonna have a scroll down here. So you can see chance per day, 1 in 1,000. Chance per month, 1 in 61. Chance per year, I got a 1 in 5 chance per year to hit a Bitcoin Cash block, and that's worth almost $2 grand. So these little machines can mine multiple different things. You can also pool mine with them if you want to. I wouldn't recommend that. I would definitely recommend solo mining with them and shooting your shot. But yeah, the odds for these things are, they're high, right? It's a long shot to hit a Bitcoin block, but if you move down to like Bitcoin Cash and stuff like that, you have good odds to hit these. So let's put in 100 terahash here. So if you wanted to go up to 100 terahash, 100, calculate. So if you had 100 terahash, you would have a 1 in 1 chance. So you're guaranteed a block once a year. Per month, 1 in 15 chance per week, 1 in 66 chance per day, 101 in 459 chance. So really, in my opinion, for a little investment into the hardware, I think it's worth the chance. So we're gonna jump into, this is what the dashboard for this, the Nerd Octax looks like. So you can see it's currently pushing about 11.2 terahash. And this one is like I said, it's pushing about 11 terahash, and it's at 171 watts. It runs cool, but this is the GUI, the web GUI for the Nerd Octax miners. Really cool, and you can also, they got this swarm feature, so you can go in here and it'll scan your network and pull up all the other Nerd Bidax miners that you have. Scanning, see? So it just pulled up all the IPs on my network with all the other Bidax and Nerdax miners that I have. And it'll give you a combined total hash rate up here of 18. And this ain't picking up my Nano 3S, so you gotta add that to it as well. But this is just in the Nerdax miners that I have. It'll give you your total watts, and it'll give you your best difficulty as well. So very robust GUIs for these things, very robust system. Everything's open source, and the community is just incredible, always making new updates. And you can, really control these things however you want. You can even go in here and overclock them. So there's a little feature right here where you hit the danger zone and you can overclock the machines. Just be careful, because you can, blow them up if you're not careful. But yeah, man, really cool. So that's my thoughts on these Bitcoin at-home solo miners. Very cool to play with. Like I said, for this small investment, you can pick these up, sit them on your desk, and just take your chance, right? It's better than playing the lottery, in my opinion. You don't have to keep buying lottery tickets, and they're just, like I said, they're cool to look at. And when family comes over and they see these things on your desk, you're like, it's a talking point. They're like, what is that thing? And you can explain it, get them into Bitcoin, get them into crypto and stuff like that. So again, guys, hope y'all enjoyed it. I will leave the discount code and link down in the pinned comment and in the description. If y'all want to check that out, you will get a discount. It also helps the channel out a little bit, but you will get a pretty good discount, especially this time of year, over at Bitcoin Merch. So be sure to check them out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm going to be uploading more coming up in the future. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one.